Welcome to Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond, a show that explores the people, players, places, and most importantly, communities that make up pickleball in Michigan and around the world. Here's your host, Tony Conley.
Welcome to this segment of Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond. I'm your host, Tony Conley. Our producer is Benjamin Robinson. The sport and popularity of pickleball is exploding around the world, especially right here in Michigan. On Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond, we'll talk with the players, the pros, the facility owners, the tournament promoters, the equipment and clothing leaders, and most importantly, the communities that encompass pickleball. And our next guest is really a big part of that. Lisa Caporale joins us today. She's the owner of Spartan Spin. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. She knows the game. She knows gear. Jesse Stipkak from Reno's North Sports Bar said, if I talk to anybody about pickleball, I need to talk to Lisa. And she joins us today. Lisa, how are you?
I am fabulous, thanks.
Man, Jesse speaks so highly of you. Yeah, I would think you guys were twin sisters or something.
Right? She is amazing, right?
Uh,
She's a big promoter of the sport and all things business.
all
So,
right, Lisa, tell us a little bit about your background. Take us back to high school and college.
yeah, well, that's going back a minute. I'm a local grad. I went to Waverly High School and then went on to MSU, where I graduated with a degree in business, but initially thought I wanted to be in nursing. So when I graduated, I was lucky enough to get a job in pharmaceutical sales, which was a perfect gig for me. And I did that for almost 30 years. And when I retired from that at an early age, I tried to regroup, figure out what I was going to do, and I began working at Playmakers. So I work there still 1 day a week, and they're an amazing shoe store and supporter of all things active in mid-Michigan. And I decided to open a gym, and thus Spartan Spin began. I opened the studio in December of 2018. So it's been just over 6 years, and it's all things indoor cycling. And it slowly evolved from that into a facility that also offers personal training and reformer Pilates sessions as well. So anything that keeps you active and moving motivates me. I consider myself really lucky to be able to do what I'm passionate about. So
How did Spartan Spin survive during COVID?
yeah, that is a fabulous question. I got really lucky. We had a great first year, and I was in a facility that was small enough to keep my overhead low. I mean, we were forced to close, and so we were literally doors locked for a good 4 months. And then as I realized it was going to continue on, we hauled the bikes outside. Well, when I say we, I mean me at 4:30 in the morning, all those bad boys out,
Yeah.
and we did outdoor classes on inside cycling bikes, and I taught them all because that made it affordable. And luckily that was enough to bridge the gap until we could open partially, and then after quite some time fully again. So yeah, timing was not ideal, but we were lucky enough to survive it.
And I know that well because during that time, I was working out at a gym called High Five Fitness in
Yeah.
Williamston,
Okay.
and we were bringing all the equipment outside and making sure we were far enough apart.
Right.
And
Same.
it'd be dark out sometimes,
Yeah.
but you do what you got to do to get your workout in.
Yeah. It was actually amazing. We had a lot of people request that we continue to do it. It's very hard on the equipment to
Mhm.
pull that stuff outside because all the bikes are calibrated so you can see how fast you're going and how far you're going. But
Mhm.
it was necessary to survive, and it was had a big upside.
How big is spinning?
It's pretty big. I don't know if it's as big as it once was. We're the only exclusive spin facility in the mid-Michigan area. A lot of the bigger gyms have a spin option, but that's our primary gig. We're just a boutique studio, so we're small and good community that welcomes fitness levels all across the board. So
Where's your gym located?
we're in Delta Township, right over near the Target, kind of across from the Lansing Mall.
All right, Lisa, for 30 years, you worked hard.
I
You could be
did.
chilling on a beach right
Right, just
now.
got back from the beach. So,
You're running a business
yeah,
and you're working at Playmakers. Why?
yeah, because I like to stay busy and I love to help people find a way to move better. And all of those things I'm doing enable me to do that.
Okay, we're going to tie this into pickleball in just a bit here, but first, I want you to tell me about your first time into pickleball. How'd you get there and where are you now?
Right. Well, crazy enough, my studio used to be right next to the Lansing City Arena where they offer indoor pickleball. And so while I was teaching spin classes, I knew there were people near me playing pickleball. And in my mind, I pictured a lot of people, old people. And when I say that, I don't know what I was picturing, 70, 70s, 80s, and beyond. And I didn't really understand what it was. I didn't think it was something that would catch my attention, but somebody finally talked me into giving it a go outdoors at Delta Township. They used to offer a free introductory lesson. And so I went with a couple of friends on a Saturday morning. The man who taught me, Ken, was 82 years old. He taught me the basics, how you hold the paddle, how you score the game, where you position yourself, and turned me loose. And it was really fabulous. Like you move more than you would think you can during the game. That being said, there are some people who I play with that have handicap stickers on their automobiles because they don't move well and they can play a mean game of pickleball.
Well, I'm still a beginner. I think
Yeah.
I've played about 10 times. Just took a clinic with Carl Pollack. But I can remember over the years, folks have been saying you should come play pickleball. And I'm
Right.
thinking, no, I'm an athlete. These are
Right. Yeah.
old people. I arrived there, Lisa, the first time I played, and there's older people, there's really short people, some have beer guts and whatnot. They wore me out and they
Right.
still wear me out because they know how to play the game. They
Right.
they play that game, hit it where they ain't.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? You mentioned the sweat. My wife a couple of times has burned more than 1,000 calories playing in 2 hours. So you're absolutely right about that, I think.
It's a great way to stay active. Absolutely.
And what I'm seeing too is you've got people of all ages. I've been playing with high school kids lately too, and
Right.
so
It's
so
interesting you say that. I was just looking up some of the pickleball statistics, and the biggest age group for pickleball players right now is 25 to 34. I thought it would be the older group of people because they've got the time. The people 65 plus, that's your second biggest age group, but the younger ages are really starting to latch onto this as a good sport.
there are high school pickleball clubs in the state of
Right.
Michigan, and from what I understand, there's conversation at the Michigan High School Athletic Association about making it a varsity sport. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good to see things that you can do at any age and at many different fitness levels.
Okay, so what level are you at right now?
That is a fabulous question. I've never really officially been evaluated. I'd guess myself to be somewhere around a 3-5 player.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you see me play, you might think I've never played before. And other times I look like I know what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
it's one of those
Well,
things.
Well, seeing the smile on your face as we talk about this and hearing the energy level in your voice, I think you're having fun.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? I think it's important to move. I think it's important to connect with people. And I've met people at pickleball that I otherwise would never have met. We just got back from a trip to Florida and met so many great people. I would say, as a whole, the group playing pickleball is a really inclusive community. There's always exceptions to that, but it doesn't matter what level you are. A lot of the facilities have open play and they'll bring you on board. And, a lot of places offer different clinics based on skill level. If you're new and just getting into it, might be how do you stand and how do you score? What's the flow of the game? And once you get a feel for things, it can be a very strategic sport. It's kind of like playing chess.
I've met some folks where I've been playing out at Jesse Stipkak's gym
Yeah.
who are kind of like me. I weight train 3 days a week, and a couple of days a week I try to swim or do something cardio wise. But as I was talking to Jessie, she told me, you know what? You'll get some cardio in here, but you need to do things like strength training. You need to stretch, and that ties us into kind of your gym. Talk a little bit about that
It
aspect
does.
of it.
Actually, I do a league with a group of women called the Round Robin, and we do a warm up that I lead before every session because when you warm up for an activity, it's like priming the pump. Motion is kind of like lotion for your body. And as you start to move, you're going to want to warm up the muscles that you'll be using. So it's important to do some arm swings and some lunges with a little rotation, some squats before you begin to play. And then there's the warm up in the game where you practice a little bit of the short shots, practice a few of the longer hits. But, that warm up pre-play helps to keep you safe and makes you a stronger player. So it's very important.
Why is pickleball so big in Michigan?
Right, that's a great question. I think we've kind of touched on it because virtually any age person can pick up a paddle and play. I know at the courts in the summer times, sometimes you'll see families literally with kids 3 and 4 out there holding the pickleball paddle. And a large group of the people that I've met really inspire me because they're in their late 70s and 80s and they are active, not just playing the sports, but participating, organizing, groups of people to play. And so I think that's part of the draw is that you can really be any age and any fitness level and find a place for you.
Lisa, talk a little bit about some of the cool fitness excuse me, pickleball facilities you've been to.
Yeah, you know what? In Lansing, I've been to a lot of the different local facilities, but one of the cooler places I've been is called Chicken and Pickle, which we don't offer here. I'd love to see something come to town, and I think Jesse might actually be working on something at Reno's North, but it's a facility where you can play pickleball, order food and drinks, and combine the best of both of those worlds. In Lansing right now, a lot of the facilities, we've got a lot of outdoor parks, Delta Mills, Patriarch Park. There's some places out in Hazlet and Holt. So virtually any part of town you're in, you can find a facility that will be available. That's in the summertime, right? In the winter, when you've got to go indoors, there's a lot of community centers. Let's Community Center offers pickleball during the winter. Lansing City Arena. You can do a drop-in fee daily. And then some of the bigger gyms, like Court One and the MAC offer play as well.
Now, Lisa, I have not played outside yet, so talk a
Oh,
little bit
okay.
about the intricacies of playing outdoors because I keep thinking of wind and leaves and
Yeah,
dirt and
correct.
talk about that.
That's a thing. We were just in Florida where it was pretty windy, and it's almost like there's an extra player. You have to factor in the direction of the wind and how hard the wind is blowing when you play. And you factor it in. You got to keep going and little wind, little rain. We're Michiganders. That won't stop us, right? So you
Now,
adjust.
Jesse told me that you really know, and part of it's because of your business, but also working at Foot Locker, or excuse me, at Playmakers.
Playmakers, yeah.
You really know socks and shoes and eyewear. Talk a little bit about that.
Correct. All of that is important. So I was just talking with somebody at Pickleball Play this morning about the importance of a pickleball shoe. Running shoes are designed for forward and back motion. Pickleball shoes have support on the lateral sides, the outside of the shoe, to help when you're moving side to side to keep your foot from rolling. So it really helps provide support and stability, and you won't wear out your shoes. A running shoe will likely wear out at the edges as you're moving side to side on the court. So a pickleball shoe gives you that lateral support. It's also got a little different surface that is a little more court friendly.
Mhm.
You don't
Lisa,
have
I'm kind of used to basketball shoes. I like the
yeah,
cushiness of them, and you go side to side. Is a pickleball shoe like that, or how does it
similar.
differ?
Yeah, basketball shoe wouldn't be a bad option. That would be a much better option than, say, a
A
running shoe
running
or
shoe.
walking
Okay.
shoe. Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, if you're just starting out, what do I use? I use my running shoes.
Sure.
But if you're gonna be playing on a regular basis, it's definitely worth the investment to get a pair of shoes that's designed for the court. So,
Yeah, my wife and I just bought our first racket, but we didn't buy the $200 racket. We got
right?
something that was rated decent, and it sounds like that's how you should take it, as your game evolves.
I just purchased a new pickleball paddle, but I did the same. I just reached out to some friends and said, "Hey, what do you recommend as a beginner paddle?" And that entry level paddle range can be anywhere from, maybe 75 to $100. You can find things a little less. And a lot of places have demo paddles that you can try. So you don't need to make an investment. You can always borrow at the beginning. And yeah, you can spend upwards of 250 bucks on a paddle if you really committed.
Lisa, I liken when I was seeing to pickleball to golf. I had this roommate when I got out of college who got into golf and he started playing 3 days a week. And my guy got the Nike Tiger Woods gear. He got the sweetest clubs. He got the headbands and all that stuff. And I see that in some of the pickleball tournaments or upper level play that I've happened to see when it comes to the outfits and the socks. Talk a little bit about that
Yeah,
gear.
great question. So socks, given my background at the Playmakers store, you need to wear a sock, or ideally you would wear a sock that wicks moisture. So something synthetic or a wool fiber. Smart Wool is a great product. It's a merino wool that pulls moisture away from your skin, which means you're less likely to get blisters, right? So
Mhm.
that's a big deal. Merino wool is also naturally antimicrobial, which means it doesn't get smelly. Because when you work out, you take your shoes off and it's smelly. So
Mhm.
a merino wool sock will help to minimize that happening. And they also make merino wool for working out. So that's an option on top as well. And it's like anything, right? You can wear whatever you've got when you first start working out. But if you're going to be playing on a regular basis, wearing a product that will wick moisture away helps to keep you cooler and minimizes irritation, rashes and things like that.
Lisa, when it comes to eyewear, I've seen folks with the prescriptive goggles on. I've seen the frames with
Yep,
nothing, no lens in it.
correct.
Talk a little bit. Is it important? Should
It is
should folks
important.
wear those?
Absolutely. You can buy something very inexpensive if you just shop online, type in protective eyewear. Doesn't need to be anything fancy, but you've seen people take a hit to the face and it can do some damage. And so the protective eyewear is really key. Absolutely.
And you mentioned the community. I have met folks who one's husband was kind of bedridden, if you will, house ridden. Another one, her husband had recently passed. I talked to some ladies who go out for Bloody Marys every Sunday. I talked to a group of guys who will go have a couple of beers somewhere and play euchre.
Yeah.
I see a lot of community in this that I just don't see in other sports.
Completely agree. And it's one thing, because in between games, you sit around and you chat with people. And at these places where you can go play pickup pickleball, which is how I did most of mine, is you go and you put your paddle on a rack and you sit and you wait for your turn to come up. And while you sit and wait, you get an opportunity to meet the people you're playing with and you start to learn a little about them and connect with people that, like I was saying, you might not otherwise have met in all ages. But yeah, over at Delta Mills, we're really close to Horrocks, so we sometimes will head up that way for a
Oh, yeah.
beverage post play. Yeah,
That's a great place to go if you
yeah,
want a cocktail, glass of wine, especially with the outdoor facility that they
right.
have
Really
there.
nice. Well, and if you're
Very.
out playing, Granger has a really nice outdoor facility, and that's up on the north side of town.
Mhm.
North is a great place to play as stop by for a beverage afterwards as well.
All right, final question for you, Lisa. So, what would you say to someone like me who previously had thought, I'm not gonna do this. It's old folks, it's boring. Yeah, I don't work out, what why would I do that?
That is a great question. And if you know me, every time I'm at spin class, I'm talking about going to play pickleball. It just becomes a part of life. But if you are active and you like to be with people, give it a try. If you've played ping pong, if you played tennis, racquetball, those things all help. But in no way are they necessary. You can have no athletic experience at all and hit the pickleball courts and find yourself really having fun. So it's a matter of finding people at your same level and learning a little bit about it and having fun.
And Lisa, if folks want to get a hold of you at Playmakers to learn a little bit more about footwear, if they want to
Yeah.
know more about Spartan Spin, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Spartanspin.net is our website. That's a great way to reach out to me. At Playmakers, they are open Monday through Saturday. So just stop out there. We've got a great staff, and everyone's been thoroughly trained as a fit specialist to help you find what you need. And the other thing Playmakers offers is an injury clinic. And you don't need to be a runner to participate in that. Maybe you're having issues with your knee, you notice something at pickleball. Every Wednesday evening from 5:30 until 7 p.m., there are podiatrists, physical therapists, and physicians on hand to help address those injuries and, if possible, give you some assistance right then and there. And if it's something that needs more attention, kind of point you in the right direction. So that's a great program offered at Playmakers, and that's free of charge. So
We've
just
been we've been talking with Lisa Corporelli. She owns Spartan Spin. She works out at Playmakers. I know we'll be talking to you again, Lisa. I appreciate you so much. Thank you very much.
have a great one. Thank you.
You've been listening to Pickleball Michigan and Beyond. I'm your host, Tony Conley. Benjamin Robinson is our producer. We'll see you next time here on Pickleball Michigan and Beyond.
Thanks for listening to Pickleball Michigan and Beyond. Follow us on Facebook and check out our website, pickleballmichiganandbeyond.com.